Hey guys, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin today. We're going to make it very short and sweet. I just wanted to give you guys an update video just so you know what we're looking at for in the next few hours and in the next day or so of trading. So as you can see, we've had this very nice push and we basically did hit over the 21 EMA on the daily, which we've been looking at for a very, very long time, but we did get rejected and came straight back down. So we're going to look at if we can continue this uptrend or if we're going to come back down into those lower levels of 6,000s or not. Now, right here, when we had this push, we were looking for an entry of 6,300, 6,200, and we'll front run a little bit on Bitcoin. But if we looked at our Ethereum targets and XRP targets, those were not front run, and we actually got very, very good trades on them. XRP a little bit, but Bitcoin did push a little bit before those targets. But it doesn't really matter because, as you can see, there's a lot of opportunities in these runs to get into these longs. And obviously, I don't like getting into longs or especially when we're in a bear market if I don't get my desired entry, but it doesn't mean that you guys can't. So if you look at right here, we came into the golden pocket basically on this first push and we were here for a few hours. As you can see, we were here for actually 3 hours, I'd say, before pushing up. We came and retested the support. We broke the support. This is very important weekly support, the S2 that you can see right here. And we basically retested it and retested the 0.618 before continuing up. So this was a very good sign that we were going to get at least a little bit more continuation. We came up and I finally broke this resistance, all these resistances, and we didn't even get a retest of the S1. So it was a very powerful move and a lot of people were buying in, but it did come back down. So as you can see, this golden pocket and this support, when you get a retest of this, it's a very good sign that you will get continuation. So you definitely could have picked up longs there. And just looking at the 1 hour time frame here, since we're on it, we had bearish divergence here that confirmed at least, I'd say, 2 candles ago. It confirmed, but it didn't really do much. We are pushing up now. And then let's look at the 2 hour time frame. We actually had bullish divergence yesterday on the 2 hour time frame as well, but that was just before the run that we had. So if we look here, we actually had bullish divergence from this peak to this peak, and you could see it on the RSI as well. So that was a very nice run. It confirmed at around this big candle here. Now looking at the lower time frames, I'm going to get on the 4 hour right now. We're going to be looking for us to actually push past the 89 EMA, which is the, I'll get rid of the FIB so you guys can see it easier. The 89 EMA is actually the blue right here. So we're going to be looking for a push past this and a break above and continuation. But we'll be looking for it to go to around the pivot of 7,267, and then we'll talk about it in the group if we're going to pick up some shorts up here, but we're going to be looking at this area and 7,300. So this little box that I'm going to draw right here, this is the area that we're going to be looking for from around 7,310, I'd say. We also have this resistance to break, which shouldn't be too hard if we get some continuation. If you are still in your shorts, go ahead and place your stops in profit like we talked about, but we did nail that 750. We actually got to 738, but we got to 747, I believe it was, on Bybit. So we definitely nailed that one. If you guys were asleep, I told you to at least put some profits there. I actually took all my profits at 7050, which was a 0.382 retracement. So that was very nice to see that when we woke up. So if you did profit from that, go ahead and put your stops in profit, because we're still aiming for those 6,850 and 6,950, but this next few hours and this next day or so might get very volatile because I'll show you guys on the high time frames, but there's a lot to consider for this next day of trading. And if you don't feel comfortable, I recommend not trading it at all until we get the next major move right here. So as you can see on the daily, we're going to look at the daily first, but I mainly wanted to talk about the 3-day. If you look at the daily, we actually did cross up on the MACD, and the momentum did go to the upside. So this could just keep increasing like this, just like we had here. The momentum could keep increasing. So that's just something to keep in mind. We also did get rejected by the 21 EMA, as I said. So usually when we close below the 21 EMA, we were actually above it, but with like 15 minutes left to the daily open. Usually when you see something like this, the bulls are able to come through, and sometimes do come through, or the bears if it's the other way around, they do come through and pick it up and basically push it to the upside right here, right? But we didn't actually see that continuation. We did see the bulls try to hold us up here, as you can see from this wick. So we had an open up here, so it could have been very bullish if we did get some continuation, but everyone started taking profits and the price just got driven down into the 10 MA again, and we actually got a retest of the 10 moving average. But if we did hold the 21 EMA, it would have been very bullish. As you can see, the 21 EMA has been guarding the price every single time these past few weeks. It's just been rejecting off the 21 EMA. This would even count as a rejection of the 21 EMA as it got very close to it. And back here, 2 rejections basically off the 21 EMA. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's a very, very important exponential moving average that we always talk about. So keep that in mind, guys. If we do break above this, we're going to be looking for some continuation up, especially if we get a close above this area. I'm also going to be looking at the 7,600 area at around here, 7,690. If we do break that, and if we hold it as support, it's going to be very bullish. We're going to look for more continuation up to 7,800, and then we'll basically talk about what could come next, which would be probably around 8K. But as long as we are below the neckline of the head and shoulders, we're going to quickly show you this, even though we have already talked about it. As long as we're below this neckline, so the head and shoulders actually got confirmed like around here, or a little bit up. But as long as we're as long as we're above or below, this area, 7,800 or 7,700, this head and shoulders on the weekly is completely still in play, guys. So we've talked about this head and shoulders. I know some people are drawing it different, but this is basically the head and shoulders that we're looking at. And it did break down. So as you can see on this, we have had a few retests of it, which looks very nice. And we could get continuation up. So the target of this is still definitely in play, guys, and it goes to around 7,000 or 4,500, and the 4,500 level does have a lot of confluence. The confluence with the 4,000 or 4,500 level, is, I've actually drawn it here for you guys. So we're going to be looking at the 0.886 here. This is basically where it drops around, which is a 4,200, and this is from the entire run from 3K up to 14K. So this level is very important. Now, obviously, we're going to count every level as a reversal point. So it could be that we reverse at 5,500. It could be that we reverse. But if we do go into the 5,500s, I do believe that we're going to get continuation. And we're going to look at, let's look at what else I want to talk about. So if we look at the 2-day MACD and the RSI. Okay, so before we go there, obviously we talked about this bullish divergence. This is why we said get ready for the longs, because this was bound to play out, and this is why we've always got to protect ourselves with stop losses in profit, or stop losses very close by, or at least a stop loss in general, because you don't want to get caught in these couple $1,000 moves, because Bitcoin always has these moves. So you've just got to be smart with it. We also had bullish divergence here, so it was we did talk about it the night before. So just definitely protect yourself. On the two-day time frame, we got a cross of the MACD here as well, which is pretty good and bullish. We were actually looking for this to cross up here before we dumped. We were looking for it to cross up to potentially get a short higher up, but we shorted the level we were at because it did actually get rejected here. And as you can see, the momentum has come to the upside here as well, so it could keep continuing up. Now, looking at the RSI, we also have the same deal going on here, which will confirm, and we've got this basically bullish divergence on the 2-day time frame. So I'm going to be looking for this to at least give us a push to 7,600 level as well, or at the least the high that we made at 7,480. But if this does confirm, we're going to get at least another test up, which it is. So it definitely will. And I'm working on a new indicator for you guys up here as well, so you guys can basically see the divergence easier as well. I've been looking for a few on the MACD, but I haven't been able to find it. But on this one, I did find a very nice indicator, as you can see up here. So we're going to be also definitely, I'll tell you guys about that one. I couldn't get the one on the MACD to work that I talked about in the group. That one didn't seem to work, so we'll use that one. But is there anything else? The 3-day is very important to me. The 3-day is what we were talking about in the group yesterday, or 2 days ago. We talked about this this basically 200 moving average being very important. We'll get rid of everything but that. So the 200 moving average on the 3-day time frame was actually broken, and we were looking for it to basically break, come retest, and then come back down. And if that did happen, it would be very, very good, basically, because usually when you see a break like this, you get a retest of the 200 moving average, and then you get a very, very hard break down into the basically lower lows actually. So if you can see here, the last time we did that, we came up, we retested a few times before actually continuing down very, very hard, and we broke this, and we made this low basically, and we moved up. And then even when we moved up, we came up, tested this a few times before moving back up. We actually tested this around 3 times, and so yeah, it's very important. The 200 moving average on the 3-day, we looked at it a while ago as well. If you guys remember, when we were around here, we looked at it and we said that we were basically below this 200 moving average, and if we do close below it, it will be really bad. But we didn't close below it, and we did push back up. But here we actually got to close below it, and then we've pushed back up now. So we could really fall back below it before the daily, before the 3-day close, fall back below it, and it would basically just count as a retest of the 200 moving average, and then we would be looking for further downside, and a lot of downside in fact. On the 4-hour, we do have hidden bearish divergence as well, which I just told you guys in the group, so keep that in mind. Is there anything else I need to talk about? So this 200 moving average is very important to me. We could get a cross up if we get some continuation. I wanted to talk about this actually before we go. We're still in this channel, even though we've been in this channel for a very long time. Really, I did hear someone talk about, we're actually above the 0.618 and the 0.65. I did hear someone talk about this being a falling wedge or a falling channel that we did break out of, which is true. But you guys know my feelings towards these channels or these wedges. As you can see here, we did actually break out of this, and we are getting a retest of it right now. So if we do get some continuation, this would be the time to do it as well, to break this high and continue upwards. So as you can see, we have actually come for a perfect retest of this line, and we've gone up. But if you do count it like this, if we go on a lower time frame, let's say we go on a 12-hour time frame, we've basically got this trend line of resistance. You could even count these as one. We've got this trend line of resistance that we're just bouncing off. So really, I don't like falling wedges much. This could just count as a resistance. Even on the lower scale, this could count as a resistance right here. With all these highs that we've made, it's just a downwards resistance that we have. So we've either broken out and had a perfect retest, or we're going to go lower, and this is actually the resistance that is at play, which I would say this is more likely. The money flow index is actually dying down a little bit as well, and going to cross up into the green. So as you can see, we have been crossing up into the green, which is usually good, obviously, but in a bull market, in a bear market, you're not going to get too much continuation. Right here, we basically crossed up into the green and went straight into red again, because the bulls just don't have enough momentum. We didn't even create any highs, so it's just a failed rally at the end of the day. Again, so far it's a failed rally, and this could easily come down into those areas again. And if we do get that 3-day close, guys, we're going to be looking for 6,000 levels. We're going to be looking for very, very low targets, and we're most likely not going to come back up for a very long time. So keep that in mind and protect yourselves. Even if you're in a short, don't think that it's going to 100% go down. Definitely protect yourselves, guys. And we did basically double bottom on the daily as well and pushed up pretty hard. So just protect yourselves. These moves happen all the time in crypto. This is why we always have to use a stop loss without any thought. Basically, before you go into a trade, you have to put that stop loss in place. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.